strongest people I know are not the ones who never quit. They are the ones who knew exactly when to stop. And I want to talk to you about that today. Because somewhere out there, someone is holding on to something that stopped working a long time ago, calling it strength, calling it loyalty, calling it perseverance. But deep down, in the quiet moments, before the day starts and the noise begins, they know. I want to tell you about a man named Marcus. Marcus was 43 years old, big hands, calm voice, the kind of man who never asked for help, because asking for help was never something he saw growing up. His father worked at a factory for 34 years, same factory, same shift, same boots. Marcus watched that man come home every evening, sit in the same chair, eat dinner in silence, and go to bed. And he swore to himself that his life was going to look different. Not better than his father's, never that, just different. So, at 31, Marcus opened a small restaurant in his city. Nothing fancy, just good food, fair prices, and Marcus himself behind the counter 6 days a week, learning every single part of the business from the ground up. Cooking, ordering, accounting, hiring, fixing the refrigerator at midnight when it broke down. He did everything. And in the beginning, it was hard, but it was beautiful, because it was his. Every table, every plate, every customer who came back because the food felt like home, that belonged to him. He had built it. And there is no feeling in the world like standing inside something you built yourself. For 4 years, the restaurant grew. Then, slowly, quietly, it started to change. The neighborhood changed. A big food chain opened 2 streets away. Rent went up. His best cook left for a better offer. Marcus started cutting corners he never used to cut, just to keep the numbers from falling apart. The joy of cooking. That feeling he had in the beginning, when he would wake up excited to get to the kitchen. That feeling started disappearing. But Marcus told himself what strong people always tell themselves.
Push through. Work harder. It will turn around. So he pushed. He worked 7 days instead of 6. He changed the menu. He ran promotions. He borrowed money from his brother to cover a bad month. Then he borrowed again to cover the next one. He stopped taking a salary for himself so he could keep his staff paid. And the restaurant kept struggling. 2 years of pushing. 2 years of sacrifice. 2 years of telling everyone who asked that things were turning around, when deep inside he knew they were not. His brother finally sat him down one evening, not in an office, not in the restaurant, just 2 men at a kitchen table, 2 cups of tea going cold between them. His brother looked at him and said something very simple. "Marcus, talk to me, not as a businessman, as my brother. Are you okay?" And Marcus, this big, calm, strong man who had not cried in front of another human being since he was a teenager, broke. Not dramatically, not loudly, just quietly, the way tired people break when someone finally asks the right question. His shoulders dropped. His eyes went red. He sat there for a moment, just breathing. Then he said, "I don't even like going in there anymore. I haven't liked it in over a year. but I don't know who I am if I close it. I want you to read that again slowly. I don't know who I am if I close it. That is the real reason most people keep going long after they should have stopped. Not because they still believe, not because they still love it, but because they have wrapped their entire identity around this one thing, and walking away feels like disappearing. His brother was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, "The restaurant is not you, Marcus. You built it, but you are not it. And right now it is eating you alive, and you are letting it, because you think stopping means you failed. But I want to ask you something. What does winning even look like to you anymore?" Marcus had no answer.
Because he had stopped asking himself that question a long time ago. He was so deep in the fight that he had forgotten what he was even fighting for. That question stayed with him for 3 weeks. He turned it over every morning and every night. What does winning look like to you anymore? And when he finally answered it honestly, the answer was not the restaurant surviving. The answer was rest. The answer was freedom. Marcus closed the restaurant on a Tuesday morning. He put a small sign on the door, thanked his customers, paid every member of staff their final salary personally, face to face, with a handshake and a look in the eye. Then he locked the door, sat in his car outside. He did not feel like a failure. He felt like a man who had finally put down something very heavy that he had been carrying much further than it was ever meant to go. Within a year, Marcus was running operations for a large catering company, using everything the restaurant had taught him: the discipline, the understanding of food and people, and how to hold a team together under pressure. All of it, just without the weight of a sinking ship pulling him under every single day. He started sleeping again. He started calling his brother on weekends just to talk. He started laughing at things again. And he told me he had not realized how long it had been since he laughed easily, until the day it happened again, and it felt like finding something he thought was gone forever. He told me this: "I thought closing that restaurant was the worst thing I would ever do, but the worst thing I ever did was stay 2 years longer than I should have. Those 2 years cost me my health, my savings, my peace of mind, and almost my relationship with my brother. I called it perseverance, but it was just fear with a better name. I want you to know that. Fear with a better name. That is what most of us are carrying right now. A job that drains everything out of us and gives very little back. A business we keep pouring into, not because we believe in it anymore, but because we are terrified of what people will say if we stop. A path we chose years ago that no longer fits who we are today. But changing it feels like admitting we were wrong. And so we persist. We call it strength. But strength is not the same thing as stubbornness. Strength is not the same thing as suffering in silence. Real strength is honesty. Real strength is sitting with yourself completely alone and asking the truth. Do I still believe in this, Or am I just afraid of what stopping means? Because here is what nobody tells you. Quitting the wrong thing is not failure. Quitting the wrong thing is how you find the right one. Every single person you admire, every person who is living a life that looks like peace, I can promise you most of them have a chapter they do not talk about. A chapter where they stopped something, let go of something, walked away from something that everyone around them thought they should keep fighting for. So I want to ask you something before you go. What are you holding on to right now that you already know the truth about? Not what you tell people, not the version you have made peace with in public. I mean the private truth you already know. The question is whether you are ready to be brave enough to act on it. Because letting go of the wrong thing with honesty and without shame is not the end of your strength. It is the purest proof of it. If something in this story hit you, you already know who needs to hear it. Go send it to them right now. That person has been waiting longer than you think. And I'll see you in the next one.